We've all seen this happen. You get a team together, an all-star team, the best of the best. You give them a mission, you expect amazing things to happen. But then, sometimes it just doesn't work. Today we're going to talk about why. We're looking at the invisible architecture that makes or breaks a team, the art and science of organizing.
It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why does one group of absolutely brilliant people just fall flat, while another, with what looks like the same level of talent, just takes off and does incredible work? Is it just dumb luck? Some kind of magic chemistry? Well, the answer is usually something a lot more solid, something that you can actually plan and build.
And that's it, right there. Here's the thing. Talent is obviously critical, but it's the structure around that talent that really unlocks its power. You can have the most skilled people in the world, but if the organization is a mess, great performance becomes pretty much impossible. It's really the difference between a pile of bricks and a well-designed house.
So, think about it. Any new project, any new team, it always starts in a little bit of chaos, right? You've got people, you've got goals, you've got resources, but there's no clear roadmap. That is the exact problem that organizing is built to solve. It's all about bringing order to that chaos and creating an environment where people can actually do their best work.
A good way to think about it is that organizing is the management function that literally creates the blueprint. It's the conscious act of designing the machine that's going to turn all those big plans into reality. So what does that actually look like in practice? At its heart, this is what we're talking about. It's kind of a three-step dance. First, you figure out all the different things that need to get done. Second, you group all those tasks together in a way that makes sense. And third, and this is probably the most important part, you clearly define who's in charge of what, who has the authority to make calls, and who's responsible for the outcome. It creates a super clear framework so everyone knows how to operate. And listen, the payoff for getting this right is just huge. A solid structure makes managing everything so much easier. It lets a team or a whole company grow and tackle new things without falling apart. It makes sure you're actually using your people and your money in the smartest way possible. And here's something that might surprise you. A good structure doesn't kill creativity. It actually fuels it by giving people clear lanes to run in and really shine. It even helps you build a workplace where jobs feel meaningful, which is a massive win.
Okay, so how do you actually go about building this structure? Well, there's no single magic formula. Broadly speaking, you've got three main ways to go, and the one you pick really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Let's break them down.
And this is just so critical to get your head around. The structure that's perfect for a scrappy little startup would be a complete and utter disaster for a giant global company, and vice versa. You have to match the design to the goal. The architecture has to serve the purpose of the building, period.
So first up is the classic, the functional structure. Think of it like a big ship. You've got your engineering crew, your navigation specialists on the bridge, your sales team. Everybody is grouped with other people who do the exact same type of job. This is absolutely fantastic for building deep expertise and being super efficient within those specific departments.
Then you've got the divisional structure. This is what tends to happen when a company gets really big and starts doing a bunch of different things. So instead of grouping people by their job title, you create these little mini companies or divisions. You might have one for product A, another for product B, or one for Europe and one for Asia. The key is that each division has its own marketing, its own finance, and it can move fast and make its own decisions.
So let's just put these side by side for a second, because this really shows you the trade-offs. The functional structure, it's all about being an expert and being efficient, which is perfect for smaller to medium-sized outfits. The downside, as you grow, it can get slow. The divisional structure, on the other hand, gives you all this amazing flexibility and speed, which is great for a massive company. But it's expensive, because now you've got a marketing team here, and another one over there, and another one over there. You're duplicating a lot of roles. And then we have what I like to call the special ops teams of the business world, adaptive structures. These are things like a project or a matrix organization. They're not meant to be permanent. You spin them up for one specific mission that has a deadline, like launching a new product or building a new factory. They pull in specialists from all over the company, and they are built from the ground up to be flexible and to solve really unique, tough challenges.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. That official org chart, the one that management spent weeks designing and perfecting, well, it turns out that's only half the story. Because in every single company, there is a second, invisible structure humming along right under the surface.
Let's break this down. On one hand, you have the formal organization. That's the official one on paper.
It's built by managers to hit company targets, and it's all about hierarchy. But then you have the informal organization. This just happens. It grows on its own. It's the web of friendships, the alliances, the people who eat lunch together. Its goal isn't profit. Its goal is social connection and just feeling good at work. It's not a pyramid, it's a network.
So, of course, the big question is this shadow structure something you should be worried about? Is this informal network a threat to the master plan, or is it actually your secret weapon? And the answer, as you've probably already guessed, is, well, it's both.
Look, on the plus side, this informal network can be incredibly powerful. It often fills in the gaps where a manager might be lacking a certain skill. It's how people get stuff done and solve problems fast, without waiting for 10 levels of approval. Information, the grapevine, travels way faster informally. It can even act as a healthy check on a manager's power. And maybe most importantly, it's where the real trust and relationships are built that make a group of people feel like an actual team.
But there is a dark side. That exact same network can be incredibly resistant to change. The grapevine is, let's be honest, famous for spreading rumors and just plain wrong information. It can create this pressure to conform, where nobody wants to stick their neck out. And sometimes, the goals of the informal group can be the exact opposite of what the company is trying to achieve.
So what's the big takeaway here? Success isn't about picking one over the other, the formal plan versus the informal network. It's about deeply understanding that you are always going to have both. The real art of leadership is building a formal structure that's smart enough to let the informal, human side of work actually flourish in a good way.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. We have this idea that structure means rules and restrictions and red tape. But when it's done well, it does the exact opposite. A great structure provides the clarity and the support, the solid ground that gives talented people the freedom and the confidence they need to do their absolute best work. So I'll just leave you with this question. Think about your own job, or any team you're a part of. Take a look at the org chart. It tells you who has the official power. But then ask yourself, who holds the real influence? Who's the person that everyone goes to for advice? Who can actually make things happen no matter what their title is? Understanding that difference, that's the key to seeing how things really work.